Alan Stevo, Chairperson. I would like to call this meeting to order at approximately 10:43 a.m.
This is the meeting. It's been called to order with respect to the matter of the, my name is Kerry Horvath. I am the attorney for the Electoral Board of the City of Blue Island. This is in the matter of the objections of Felix Oliva, Thomas Rico, Hilda Rodriguez, Hilda Arellano, Mariela Esparza Castillo, and Patrick Ring, petitioner objectors versus Randy Heuser, respondent candidate in case 2020 BIMOEB-01. I'm going to read a statement and findings of in-person meeting and unfeasibility due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Please be advised that on December 11th, 2020, the governor of the state of Illinois issued his latest statewide disaster proclamation related to continuing public health emergency posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, and has further issued executive orders implementing further enhanced mitigation measures and restrictions. As such, pursuant to Section 7E of the Illinois Open Meetings Act, the rules of procedure, and as the attorney for this board and the chair has determined that holding a meeting entirely in person that is otherwise conducted in full compliance with the Open Meetings Act is neither practical nor prudent because of the ongoing disaster. To the extent necessary, this meeting will be conducted with the option to participate via internet teleconference and without requiring the physical presence of a quorum. The chair further finds that due to the disaster, the physical presence of more than 10 people at the regular meeting location in an accessible, hygienic, and legally compliant manner is not feasible. Alternative arrangements have been made to allow the public to contemporaneously hear all discussion, testimony, and roll call votes via Zoom teleconference. All votes shall be conducted by the roll call vote, and a verbatim record of this meeting shall be made and maintained in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. All participants are hereby further notified that by participating at this meeting, they acknowledge and are informed of this meeting's public recording. Thank you.
I am Alan Stevo, the substitute chairperson of the Electoral Board, serving in the place of the mayor who is seeking election to the office at issue in this matter. Also serving on the Electoral Board is the senior alderman Dexter Johnson and public member Daniel Kelly, who was appointed by the Circuit Court of Cook County following the recusal of the city clerk. These members are provided for by the Illinois Election Code, which mandates our services to hear and pass upon objections filed against candidates' nomination papers. This time I'd like to have a roll call to establish our quorum. Member Johnson. Here. Member Kelly. Here. Chairperson Stevo. Here. The quorum has been established.
Members of the board, I'll briefly explain to you that attached to the packets that have been delivered to you this morning are copies of the rules of procedure to be utilized in the proceedings before this board. Copies were previously submitted to Mr. Erdman on behalf of the objectors and Mr. Stephen Ladazinski on behalf of the candidates. These rules and regulations have been adopted and utilized before the Electoral Board for the state of Illinois and been utilized before the Cook County Board, Electoral Board. And at this point in time, I would ask that you entertain a motion to adopt the rules of procedure as presented in your packet. Would one of you make that motion?
Make a motion.
Motion by Alderman Johnson.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Dan Kelly. All in favor?
No, you got to do a roll call.
Roll call. Alderman Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly? Aye. Alan Stevo? Aye. I would like to
sign the rules.
Pardon?
We need to sign the copy of the rules.
We can, yes. We can.
I would like to have a motion that Attorney Kerry Horvath conduct the hearing.
I'll make a motion.
Alderman Johnson,
Second.
second by Mr. Kelly. Roll call vote. Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly. Aye. Alan Stevo, aye.
Okay. I'm going to circulate to the members of the panel a copy of the rules to be signed. If you would, Mr. Steele, for signing. I'll note for the record, the copy of the rules of procedure that were adopted by motion of the Electoral Board have been executed by all three members of the Electoral Board with respect to this proceeding. This copy is marked draft. A final copy will be prepared without the draft so that we have it for the record. Would you introduce yourself for the record, Mr. Erdman?
It's Scott B. Erdman, E-R-D-M-A-N, on behalf of the objectors.
And with respect to the candidates, prior to initiating this or beginning this proceeding this morning, Stephen Ladazinski contacted Mr. Erdman by phone, and Mr. Erdman then provided the speaker for us to listen to Mr. Ladazinski. Mr. Ladazinski indicated he is representing all of the candidates in this matter. He's unable to appear today because of a conflict with respect to another Electoral Board hearing. We discussed on the phone the fact that he will be filing a motion to strike and dismiss with respect to 9 of the 10 proceedings, and the other proceeding will require what is called a record review with respect to petitions filed. Mr. Ladazinski is unable to appear in person. However, there was a discussion setting a schedule, which we will get into later this afternoon with respect to, or this morning with respect to briefing. And as I indicated earlier, since he cannot appear, you have no objection to his not appearing in person based upon the conversation that was conducted earlier off the record. Is that correct, Mr. Erdman?
That is correct.
And at this point in time, Mr. Erdman is completing appearances and will submit them with respect to this matter and then other matters as we proceed. Is that correct?
I'll present them all right now, and you can just accept them into the record as we call the cases.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let the record reflect that Mr. Erdman has filed an appearance on behalf of the, can I circle Objector on these appearances?
Oh, yes, please.
On behalf of the Objector in case 2020-101, 2020-BIMOEB-01. You have previously received a copy of the rules of procedure, Mr. Erdman?
I have.
Thank you. All right, at this point in time, what I would like to do is ask the board to entertain admitting into evidence in the record the board's exhibits. Exhibit 1 is the objector's petition. Exhibit 2 are the candidates' nomination papers. Exhibit 3, the call of the Electoral Board. Exhibit 4 is the agenda for the initial hearing. Exhibit 5 are the proofs of service on the objectors, the waiver and the candidates, the waiver of service, and the appearances filed by the parties. Exhibit 6 are the rules of procedure, which we previously discussed, excuse me. And Exhibit 7 in this particular matter is the Circuit Court Special Order 2020-53 appointing Public Electoral Board member Daniel Kelly along with Mr. Kelly's oath of office. Can I get a motion to accept the Electoral Board's exhibits into evidence?
I'll make a motion.
A motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Mr. Kelly.
Can we have a roll call on that motion?
Roll call vote. Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly. Aye. Alderman Steele, aye.
Thank you very much. The Electoral Board exhibits 1 through 7 will be admitted into the record and evidence. Based on a preliminary review of the petition in this particular matter, it appears that the issues raised are purely legal in nature and probably would not require a records examination with the Cook County Clerk's Office, but will require briefing schedules. Would you agree to that, Counsel?
Actually, before we go any further, I would like to go on the record and object to the constitution of the board.
Certainly.
And present to Mr. Horvath. This is a copy of the complaint that we filed in the circuit court.
Thank you.
On the way down today, I got the Tyler Host acceptance of them, so I will forward copies of those with the appropriate clerk stamps on those as soon as they come to the office. And without waiving the objection to the constitution of the board, I'm willing to proceed and make scheduling of the briefing.
Pardon?
I said without waiving those objections, I'm willing to go ahead and set the briefing schedule.
Okay. So with what I said is, in this particular matter, it appears that there will not be a need for a record examination, strictly briefing on the issues pursuant to a motion to strike. Is that correct?
Correct.
And for the record, Mr. Ladazinski previously indicated that that was his position as well with respect to the issues raised in 2020 BIMOEB-01. And for the record, just let me indicate that this morning, Mr. Erdman served upon me as the attorney for the Municipal Officers Electoral Board of the City of Blue Island a copy of a lawsuit that was filed challenging the constitution of this particular board. With that, we can proceed. I would like to, at this point, set a schedule for motions and arguments and briefing in this matter. Pursuant to conversation between Mr. Ladazinski, Mr. Erdman, that the board was allowed to participate in earlier, we do have a suggested briefing schedule. Mr. Ladazinski indicated he would like to file a motion to strike and dismiss the objection in this matter, and he stated he could file it on January 12th of 2020, or 2021. Is that acceptable to Mr. Erdman?
It is. Excuse me. One thing that we didn't discuss was whether it would be a 5 o'clock or end of day 11:59 filing.
The way I would indicate it would be, in the order I prepare, would be at 5 p.m., at or before 5 p.m., if that's okay.
And we would request that it would be end of day
period. 11:59:59. I'm opposite Mr. Ladazinski and another electoral board, and that's what we did there, just because they're stacked up and would allow for filing without people objecting
What Mr. Erdman
to.
is suggesting is that filing could be by the end of the day on January 12th. I certainly do not have an issue with that. Do any of the members of the board have an issue with that? Because they will be served on me, and I will review them and circulate the motion to the board. Is that acceptable?
To me it is.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson, is that acceptable to you?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kelly, is it acceptable
Yes,
to
it
you?
is.
And Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Thank you.
Then I will indicate that 11:59 on January 12th, and then your response will be due by 11:59 on January 14th of 2021, and then if Mr. Ladazinski chooses to submit a reply, it will be due on January 15th of 2021 at 11:59 p.m.
Yes, sir.
And with respect to reconvening the board, and I understand we have this litigation that we have to address, but with respect to reconvening the board to hear any arguments and possibly make a decision with respect to this motion, if the members of the board, if you could, bear with me one moment, I have to get my calendar, but we would be meeting probably the week following January
The week of the 18th.
15th. The 18th? Let me just check here.
Oh.
January 18th is a Monday. It's Martin Luther King Day, so we can't meet on that day. January 19th, would that be some, are you available?
Yes, I haven't gotten filled up yet. Yes.
On the hour.
What would be an acceptable hour for yourself, Mr. Kelly?
Midday, that would be better.
If we were to meet at 1 o'clock, would that be acceptable?
I believe so.
Is that acceptable to you?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Stevo? Mr. Erdman?
Yes, sir.
1 p.m. on January 19th? Okay, then we'll meet again on January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m. and that will be to hear arguments with respect to the motion to strike and dismiss, the objection as filed, and possibly a decision at that point in time, depending on the nature of the arguments in the briefs. Are there any other matters prior to recessing this particular case that need to be presented?
No, sir.
Members of the board, do any of you have any questions at this point in time?
Senator Johnson?
No, sir.
Mr. Kelly?
No, I do not.
Can I have a motion to approve the briefing schedule as stated and recess this particular matter to January the 19th at 1 p.m.?
Make motion. Yes.
Second the motion.
Roll call, Alderman Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Alderman Steele?
Let the record show that this matter is recessed until January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m.
I would like to call the meeting to order at approximately 11:06 a.m.
For the record, this is before the municipal, my name is Kerry Horvath, representing the City of Blue Island Municipal Officers Electoral Board. This is in the matter of the objections of Solomon Esparza and Octavio Carbajal, petitioner objectors, versus Domingo F. Vargas, respondent candidate, case number 2020 BIMO EB-02. Motion to adopt the statement of findings of the in-person meeting feasibility
I would like to have a motion to move to adopt and incorporate statement and findings of in-person meeting on feasibility due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Alderman Johnson,
I'll second the motion.
second by Mr. Kelly. Roll call vote, Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Alderman Stevo, aye.
Thank you very much.
Introduction of municipal officers, Electoral Board. I am Alan J. Stevo, Chairperson of the Electoral Board, serving in the place of the mayor who is seeking election to the office at issue in this matter. Also serving on the Electoral Board is the Senior Alderman, Dexter Johnson, and Public Member Daniel Kelly, who was appointed by the Circuit Court of Cook County following the recusal of the City Clerk. These members are provided for by the Illinois Election Code, which mandates our service to hear and pass upon objections filed against candidates' nomination papers.
Yes,
Roll call to establish the quorum. Member Johnson,
Aye. Here.
Member Kelly,
Present.
Chairman Stevo, here. Quorum has been established.
very briefly, members of the board, I'm going to circulate to you a copy of the rules of procedure. These are an exact copy of the rules of procedure that were adopted in 2020 BIM OEB-01. I'd ask you to first sign them, if you will.
Mr. Horvath, while they do that, I got a text from Mr. Ladizinski saying that he hasn't been able to access Zoom because that the sign-in doesn't work.
All right, I'll make sure that I read that into the record. Okay?
I'm at the same age and have the same struggles, so I cast no.
And again, just very briefly, these rules that you've adopted, or that we're going to ask you to adopt, the rules of procedure, have been accepted and utilized. They've been accepted by the State of Illinois Board of Elections, the County Board of Elections, and they will govern the proceedings in this particular matter. Can I now have a motion to adopt the rules of procedure as presented?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Roll call vote. Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Alderman Steve, aye. I'd like to have a motion to turn the proceedings over to Attorney Kerry Hubbard.
I make a motion.
Second it.
Roll call vote. Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Alderman Steve, aye.
Again, this is the Electoral Board case number 2020 BIMOEB-02. Mr. Erdman, would you indicate your appearance for the record, please?
Scott B. Erdman, on behalf of the objectors, I have presented the board with my appearance.
And Mr. Stephen Ladizinski has previously submitted his appearance on behalf of the candidate. Mr. Ladizinski has contacted this board earlier this morning to indicate that he has a conflict. He apparently attempted to connect through the Zoom, but was unable to. However, it has been agreed that this board can conduct these proceedings this morning without his physical presence. And as we move along in this particular matter, we will address what has been agreed to between Mr. Ladizinski, Mr. Erdman, and the board itself. Parties, members of the board, and Mr. Erdman and Mr. Ladizinski, Mr. Erdman You've all received copies of the rules of procedure, is that correct?
Yes.
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 All righty. At this point, in the proceedings, I would like to address the introduction of the Electoral Board exhibits and the admission of those documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the Objector's petition.
Mr. Horvath, if there's a spot, I'd like to place my record,
Certainly.
obviously,
Why
at
don't you
the
do
earliest
that at this
possible
point?
time.
No, you can do
Okay.
it in every proceeding at this point if it's okay with you.
Yes. Actually, I'd like to make the speaking objection each one, so if we can do it as early as possible, and you can just, give me the go-ahead at the time that you want it, but as early as possible prior to anything.
Why don't you do it at this point?
Okay. Scott B. Erdman, on behalf of the objectors, I want to be on record that we object to the constitution of the board, and note that we have provided Mr. Horvath, the attorney for the board, a complaint filed with the clerk of the circuit court. As I said before, I will follow up with the accepted copy. I will forward that to you via email. But without waiving our objection to the Constitutional Board, we're willing to move forward and set briefing schedules and a date to return.
Thank you very much. And then
Thank
if
you.
that's okay with the members of the board, Mr. Erdman will make that same particular objection at this juncture of each of the proceedings so that we have a clear record with respect to that objection, okay?
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Okay, now back to the introduction and admission of the board's exhibits into evidence. Exhibit number 1 is the objector's petition. Exhibit number 2, in this case, are the candidates' nomination papers, which are also included in the packet of documents which have been distributed to the board with respect to this particular matter. Exhibit 3 is the call of the Electoral Board. Exhibit 4 is the agenda for the initial hearing today. Exhibit 5 are the proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties. Exhibit 6, the rules of procedure. And Exhibit 7, in this case, is the Circuit Court Special Order 2020-53, appointing Public Electoral Board member Daniel Kelly, along with his oath of office. Can we get a motion to accept, excuse me, the Electoral Board's exhibits into evidence?
Make a motion.
Motion by Alderman Johnson.
Just before answering, I wanted one clarification. Did you just say that we had a copy of the candidate's nominating petition? I have the
I'm sorry, you have the objection. I apologize. I'll give you a copy of the candidate's nominating petition.
Okay. All right, and I'll second the motion there.
Second by Mr. Kelly, roll call vote. Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Alderman Steele, aye.
Let the record show that Electoral Board exhibits 1 through 7 have been will be admitted into evidence as part of the record in this proceeding. And Mr. Kelly, I apologize. I am tendering to you a copy of Mr. Vargas's nominating papers. Mr. Johnson, I'm tendering a copy to you. And Mr. Steve, I'm tendering a copy to you.
Thank you.
And Mr.
I will
Herbert,
submit a copy to you if you need them.
can that via email, or I can get them before I leave today? Either way.
I'm having a hard time hearing.
Yeah, either via email or the hard copy today. Either one.
All right,
Okay.
I'll email that. It's not that large of a set of
Okay.
documents.
And the order number 2020-53 is the same all the way through?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, there was only one order entered, and I have a copy of that if you'd like that. I'll provide it to you at.
No, just for my shorthand, I can refer to the exhibits from the first one all the way through my notes and not have to write them out.
Let the record show I'm tendering a copy of the order appointing Mr. Kelly as the public member of this particular case.
Received. Thank you, sir. With
respect to this particular proceeding, I don't know whether there are going to be motions filed, but it will require a records examination to be conducted by the Cook County Clerk's Office. For the record, I did send email correspondence to the attorney, the Office of the Attorney for the Cook County Electoral Board, or the Cook County Clerk handling elections. Yesterday, I received a response indicating that what I submitted to them concerning a records examination was accepted. However, I have not received a date from them as to when they will conduct that. But if at this point in time, if I could have a motion from this board to order a records examination to be conducted by the Cook County Clerk's Office pursuant to the rules of procedure.
Alderman Johnson moves. Second.
I second the motion for the records examination.
Mr. Kelly. Roll call vote. Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Mr. Aye.
I will inform all of the parties as well, or the parties as well as the members of the board when I receive a date from the Cook County Clerk's Office. So you know, the Clerk's Office did indicate that the records exam will be conducted at the Election Operations Center, 1330 South 54th Avenue, and that is in Cicero, Illinois.
Yes.
So as soon as I hear from them, I will let you all know as to the date and time.
Thank you.
Is that acceptable, Mr. Erdman?
Yes, it is.
And that will be is that acceptable? That will be acceptable to you as a candidate. Let the record show that Mr. Vargas is present in the room. He is the candidate in this particular proceeding. Would you introduce yourself, sir?
Yes. Good morning to everyone. My name is Domingo Vargas. I'm the candidate for mayor for the 2021 April 26th election.
Thank you very much.
Good morning.
So at this point, we'll leave the date open. I don't have any control of it. I'll let you all know, and I'll inform you if it's acceptable by email correspondence, Mr. Erdman.
Yes.
Do you anticipate that there will be any briefing with respect to this objection?
I believe that he wanted to brief all of them. So whatever he files, we'll respond to. We can adopt the schedule, and if he doesn't want to file anything, then if your phone don't ring, you'll know it's me, is the old country song. So
All right.
if he
Well,
doesn't
if there is
file,
briefing to be done in this particular matter for any particular issue, my suggestion would be that the same briefing schedule that was adopted in the first hearing, where any type of motion or brief from the petitioner would be due by 12:59 p.m. on January 12th. A reply would be due by 12:59 p.m. on January 14th. Or excuse me, a response by January 14th, 12:59 p.m., and a reply by January 15th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. Can I have a motion that if briefs are to be submitted, that briefing schedule be adopted?
motion.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was it a roll call vote, or was it?
We have to have a roll call. It's a motion to adopt the briefing schedule if briefs are to be, that I just explained, that briefs are to be submitted.
Okay, I'm sorry. You were asking me to be the second. All right. Yes, I'll second the motion.
Second, Mr. Kelly. Roll call vote. Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
And Alderman Steve. Aye.
Okay, so if there is a briefing schedule, that will be it. All right. Are there any other matters at this point in time to be presented with respect to this this particular matter?
Would you like to tentatively schedule the return as on the same
Yes,
day
that's
as
the only
01 and
Can we have a return? I guess it would be subject to the county conducting the record exam. Can we have a return of this matter on January 19th at 1 p.m., which is the same time we are returning on the other matter. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
So, Mr. Kelly, roll call vote.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson? Aye. Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Alderman Steele?
Okay. Let the record show that if in fact the county is able to schedule a records examination in this matter on a date next week, we will return on January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m. for further proceedings. Can we have a motion? Is there any other business?
No, sir.
Can we have a motion to recess then to January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m.?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Alderman Johnson,
I'll second the motion to recess.
second by Alderman Kelly. Roll call vote. Alderman Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Alderman Steele?
Thank you very much. This matter is recessed.
All right, could I call this meeting to order? Again, for the record, my name is Domingo F. Vargas. I'm the mayor of the city of Blue Island. And then we'll start with the roll call.
No, wait, not yet.
Okay.
This is before the Municipal Officers Electoral Board for the City of Blue Island. My name is Kerry Horvath, the attorney for the board. This is the matter of the objections of Patrick Ring, petitioner, objector versus Josh Roll, respondent candidate, case number 2020 BIMOEB-03. Just ask for a motion to adopt and incorporate this.
All right. So I'm moving to adopt and incorporate. We've called the meeting to order. It's the statement of findings of in-person meeting unfeasibility due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So I'll need do we need a motion or anything?
Yes,
like
you
that?
need a motion.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Alderman Dexter Johnson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
By Mr. Kelly. Roll call.
There you go.
Okay, again, I am Domingo F. Vargas, chairman of the Electoral Board. Also serving on the Electoral Board is we have Senior Alderman Dexter Johnson, Public Member Daniel Kelly, who was appointed by the Circuit Court of Cook County following the recusal of Alan Steele. These members are provided for by the Illinois Election Code, which mandates our service to hear and pass upon objections filed against candidates' nomination papers. Okay, roll call. Member Johnson?
Here.
Member Kelly?
Here.
Chairman Vargas here. We have a quorum established.
If I could take a moment very briefly, the members of the Electoral Board have executed a copy of the rules of procedure, which before this particular body, the rules of procedure have been utilized in the two prior proceedings earlier today and will be utilized in this proceeding. They have been approved for use by the Board of Elections of the State of Illinois and the Cook County Board of the State of Elections of the State of Cook County. Can I get a motion to adopt the rules of procedure?
I'll make a motion.
I will second the motion.
Second. Yes, roll call. Roll call, please. Alderman Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Myself as chairman, I, Domingo Vargas.
You just ask for a motion.
Now we need a motion to direct the Electoral Board attorney to conduct proceedings through the remainder of the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Alderman Dexter Johnson. Do we have a second?
I'll second his motion.
By Mr. Kelly. We need a roll call. Roll call.
Aye.
By Mr. Johnson. Second.
Aye.
And also aye by the chairman, Attorney Domingo Vargas.
Okay, these are this is the objection in Ring versus Roll 2020 BIMOEB-03. Mr. Erdman, would you introduce yourself for the record, and if at this point you would like to make the motion?
Excuse me, Scott B. Erdman, E-R-D-M-A-N, on behalf of the objectors. At this time, I'd like to formally make my objection to the constitution of the board and note that I have provided counsel with a complaint filed with the clerk of the circuit court in regards to that matter. Without waiving the objection, we're willing to move forward and address briefing schedules.
Thank you very much. At this point in time, I'd like to point out Mr. Stephen Ladazinski has filed an appearance on behalf of the candidate Josh Roll. As I indicated with respect in the other two proceedings we've conducted, he has a conflict, and prior to the proceedings today there was a telephone conversation between Mr. Ladazinski, Mr. Erdman, and myself and the members of this board, and he indicated that he would not be able to participate. However, with respect to this matter and others that were discussed, he did agree to a schedule, which we will get into as we move this proceeding along. Prior to doing that, at this point, I would like to ask for, I'd like to address the introduction of the Electoral Board exhibits and a motion, attend a motion to admit them into evidence. Exhibit number 1 is the Objector's petition. Exhibit number 2 is the candidate's nomination papers. Exhibit number 3 is the call of the Electoral Board. Exhibit number 4 is the agenda for the initial hearing. Exhibit number 5 are the proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties. Exhibit 6 are the rules of procedure. And Exhibit 7 is the Circuit Court Special Order 2020-53, appointing Public Electoral Board member Daniel Kelly, along with a copy of his oath of office. Can I get a motion from the board to accept the Electoral Board's exhibits into evidence?
Make a motion.
Motion by Alderman Dexter Johnson. Do we have a second?
I will second his motion.
By Mr. Kelly. You need a roll call?
Yes, please.
We get a roll call, please. Mr. Johnson? Alderman?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
And I by myself, Mayor Vargas.
Let the record show that the board's exhibits 1 through 7 are admitted into evidence as part of the record of this proceeding. Again, with respect to the objection in this particular case, it does not appear that there is a records examination required. However, it appears that the issue raised are purely legal in nature. Would you agree with that, Mr. Erdman?
Yes, sir.
And prior to initiating this proceeding, there was a discussion of a briefing schedule with Mr. Ladazinski and Mr. Erdman. What I'd like to do is read into the record what that schedule will be and then ask if you would concur in that, Mr. Erdman. The motion, Mr. Ladazinski indicated he would be filing a motion to strike and dismiss the objection. He will file that on or before January 14th, or excuse me, January 12th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. Mr. Erdman's response will be due January 14th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. If Mr. Ladazinski chooses to file a reply, it will be due January 15th, 2021 at or before 11:59 p.m. And then arguments on the particular motion and potentially a decision will be made on January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m. Is that a correct recitation of the schedule that was agreed upon?
Yes, sir.
Members of the board, can I have a motion to adopt that briefing schedule for this particular matter?
Do we have a motion by Alderman Dexter Johnson? Motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second his motion.
Mr. Kelly, could we have a roll call, please? Alderman?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
And myself, aye as mayor. Thank you.
And with respect to the briefing, those will all be filed by email with myself, and then I'll circulate them to the board if that's acceptable to you.
Yes, it is.
Is there any other business before the board on this particular matter?
Anything else? Alderman?
I was wondering, does this case number also have a packet for the, what is being objected to?
For the what?
Does this particular packet have a objection, a copy of the objections?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll go through them with you after the meeting if need be, but it should have a copy of the objection, the agenda to call, the objection, the rules, and the waivers. So
Okay.
they're all tabbed. The objection in this packet is under tab 3.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, can we get a motion to recess this board until January 19th, 2021 at 1:00 p.m.?
Do you have a motion?
Make a motion.
Alderman Dexter Johnson, motion. Do you have a second?
I'll second the motion to recess.
By Mr. Kelly. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Alderman Dexter Johnson, aye. Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Ms. Mayor?
Let the record show that 2020 BIMOEB-03, Ring versus Roll, is recessed until January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m.
Again, this is Mayor Domingo F. Vargas, Chairman of this Electoral Board hearing. I move to adopt and incorporate, and I'll make the following statement, in findings of person meetings unfeasibility due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
This is the matter of the objections of Felix Oliva, Thomas Arico, Hilda Rodriguez, Hilda Arellano, Mariela Esparza Castillo, and Patrick Ring, petitioner objectors versus Charlotte Mitchell Brown, respondent candidate. Case number 2020 BIMOEB-04. Can we get a motion to adopt and incorporate the statement and findings?
Motion by Alderman Johnson.
Second.
Second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
By Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
By Mr. Stevo. Aye by myself as mayor. Now, I'm introducing myself, and I am Domingo F. Vargas, the chairman of the Electoral Board. Also serving on the Electoral Board is Senior Alderman Dexter Johnson and Second Senior Alderman Alan Stevo. I need a roll call. Alderman?
Aye.
Alderman Dexter Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Alan Stevo. I, myself, Mayor Vargas.
There's a quorum established.
A quorum has been established. Now we move on to adoption of rules.
Briefly, the board rules have been distributed to the members of the board. With respect to this matter, they have been signed previous to the hearing today. The board rules were distributed to the attorneys for the parties. These rules are in use by the Blue Island Board of Municipal Officers Electoral Board, as well as they've been approved for use by the State of Illinois Board of Elections and Cook County Board of Elections. At this point in time, I'd like a motion to adopt the rules of procedure as presented.
Do you have a motion?
I make a
By
motion.
Alderman Dexter Johnson. Do you have a second? By Alderman Alan Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
By Alderman Dexter Johnson.
Aye.
By Mr. Alan Stevo. And I by myself as Mayor Vargas.
Let the record show that the rules of procedure as presented have been adopted. Now you should make a motion to direct me to conduct the rules of procedure.
I'll need a motion to direct to the Electoral Board Attorney to conduct proceedings to the remainder of the agenda. Do you have a motion? By Alderman Dexter Johnson. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Alderman Alan Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
By Alderman Dexter Johnson.
Aye.
By Mr. Stevo. I by myself as Mayor Vargas.
Thank you. This is case 2020 BIMOEB-04. Mr. Erdman, would you introduce yourself for the record, please?
Scott B. Erdman, E-R-D-M-A-N, on behalf of the objectors.
And again, Stephen Ladizinski is representing the candidates in this particular matter pursuant to a telephone conversation with Mr. Erdman, myself, and the members of the board earlier today. He indicated he has a conflict. However, it was agreed during the course of that telephone conversation that a briefing schedule would be established with respect to the matter pending in this proceeding, which we will discuss later as we move along. Before getting into the introduction and labeling of the Electoral Board exhibits, I believe you have a motion you'd like to make, sir?
Yes, thank you, sir. At this point, the objectors would like to make a record of their objection to the constitution of the board and note that we have filed a complaint with the clerk of the circuit court, and I have presented that to counsel for the board.
Thank you very much.
Without waiving our objection to the constitution of the board, we are willing to move forward with and set a briefing schedule.
Thank you. At this point, I would like to request that the board consider introduction into evidence of the board exhibits. The exhibits are as follows. Exhibit 1 is the objector's petition. Exhibit 2 are the candidates' nomination papers. Exhibit 3 is the call of the Electoral Board. Exhibit 4 is the agenda for, excuse me, for the initial hearing today. Exhibit 5 are the proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties. Exhibit 6 are the rules of procedure. And in this particular matter, there is no public member, so there is no Exhibit 7. I would need a motion to accept the Electoral Board's exhibits into evidence.
We have a motion by Alderman Dexter Johnson. We have a second by Alderman Alan Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
By Alderman Dexter Johnson.
Aye.
By Alderman Alan Stevo, and aye by me, Mayor Vargas.
Let the record show that the Electoral Board exhibits have been admitted into evidence as exhibits 1 through 6. With respect to this particular matter, it does not appear that there will be a need for a record examination. However, it appears the issues are purely legal in nature and that briefing will be necessary. Is that a fair statement, Mr. Erdman?
Yes, sir.
As I indicated briefly earlier, a briefing schedule was previously agreed upon when Mr. Ladazinski contacted the board and Mr. Erdman by phone. And with respect to this matter, Mr. Ladazinski is going to file a motion to strike and dismiss on no later than Tuesday, January 12, 2021 at 12:59 p.m. Mr. Erdman will file a response on behalf of the objectors not later than January 14th, 2021 at 12:59 p.m. Mr. Ladazinski can file a reply if necessary by January 15th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. And arguments will be made on the motion on January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m. Does that accurately correctly state the briefing schedule?
The first two dates you said 12:59 p.m.
12:59, I'm sorry.
11:59 p.m., but yes.
Did I say 12:59?
For the first two, but you got it right on the third one, so.
Okay, all of the briefs will be.
That's a Hall of Fame batting
The
average.
date stated at 11:59 p.m., if not sooner.
Okay.
I won't be waiting up for them, okay? But at any event, I apologize for that mistake.
No worries.
Members of the board, can we get a motion to adopt that briefing schedule and the return for arguments?
We have a motion by Alderman Johnson. We have a second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye. Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Mr. Stevo. Aye by me as Mayor Vargas.
Thank you very much. The briefing schedule is adopted. Are there any other matters or comments to be presented before the board?
None.
Can we get a motion to recess this board until January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m.?
We have a motion by Alderman Johnson. Second.
Second.
By Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
By Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Mr. Stevo. Aye by me, Mayor Vargas.
This matter is recessed until, you were going to put something on the record with respect to conversation from with Mr. Ladazinski.
Oh, he wasn't available by Zoom. He texted me. I asked him if he wanted to call in and be on speakerphone, and he said no, that he's willing to just move ahead with the agreed upon briefing schedule.
Thank you very much. Did you get that? Thank you. Okay, this matter is now recessed until January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m. All right, let's see.
All right, I'll call this meeting to order. Move to adopt and incorporate statement and findings of in-person meeting unfeasibility due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Council?
You make a motion to do that?
Yes, I do.
A motion by Alderman Dexter Johnson, second by Alderman Alan Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
By Mr. Johnson, Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
By Mr. Alan Stevo, Alderman, and aye by me, Mayor Vargas. I am Domingo F. Vargas, the chairman of the Electoral Board. Also serving on the Electoral Board is Senior Alderman Dexter Johnson and Second Senior Alderman Alan Steele.
This is the matter of the objections of Felix Oliva, excuse me, Thomas Arrico, Hilda Rodriguez, Hilda Arellano, Mariela Esparza Castillo, and Patrick Ring, petitioner objectors, versus Tom Hawley, respondent candidate. Case number 2020, Blue Island BIMOEB-05. My name is Kerry Horvath. I am the attorney for the Municipal Officers Electoral Board for the City of Blue Island.
So we now need roll call. Alderman?
Here.
Member Johnson, Alderman Alan Steele, and myself, I, Chairman Vargas. We have a quorum that's been established.
Briefly, prior to the initiation of the proceedings, the rules of procedure were distributed to the parties' attorneys as well as to the members of the board. These rules of procedures will govern these proceedings. They have been approved and for usage by the State Board of Elections and the County Board of Elections. I'd like a motion at this point in time to adopt the rules of procedure as presented.
We have a motion
make a
by
motion.
Alderman Dexter Johnson. Do we have a second by Alderman Alan Steele? Roll call, please.
Aye.
By Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
By Mr. Alderman Steele, and aye by Mayor Vargas. Next, I'll need a motion to adopt the rules of procedure, to the Electoral Board attorney to conduct proceedings through the remainder of the agenda. Go ahead, Council. Or do we need a
Aye.
roll call by Alderman Dexter Johnson, second by Alderman Steele, and aye by myself as Mayor
You
Vargas.
make the motion and then vote.
Okay.
You make the motion?
I make the motion.
Second by Alderman Steele.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Dexter Johnson.
Aye.
By Alan Steele, and aye by Mayor Vargas.
Thank you very much. Again, this is case number 2020 BIMOEB-05 in the matter of the objections of Felix Oliva, Thomas Arrico, Hilda Rodriguez, Hilda Arellano, Mariela Esparza Castillo, and Patrick Ring, petitioner objectors versus Tom Hawley, respondent candidate. In this particular matter, Stephen Ladazinski has filed an appearance on behalf of the candidate, and Mr. Erdman, Scott Erdman, has filed an appearance on behalf of the objectors. The rules of procedure were previously distributed to the parties through their attorneys and to the members of the board. Would you just introduce yourself for the record, Mr. Erdman, and then I believe you have a motion that you'd like to make.
Scott B. Erdman, E-R-D-M-A-N, on behalf of the objectors. At this time, I'd like to make a record that we object to the constitution of the board, that we have filed a complaint with the clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County. I have made a copy available to the attorney for the board, and without waiving that objection, we are willing to proceed to set a briefing schedule.
Thank you very much. And again, prior to initiating the proceedings today, Mr. Ladazinski contacted Mr. Erdman and myself, and through a telephone conversation, members of the board present indicated he had a conflict and would not be able to meet here today, but there was a discussion of a briefing schedule with respect to this matter, which we will discuss as we get to that point in the agenda. At this point, I would ask the board to entertain consideration of admission of the Electoral Board exhibits into evidence. These exhibits are the objector's petition, exhibit number 1. Exhibit number 2 is the candidates' nomination papers. Exhibit number 3, the call of the Electoral Board. Exhibit number 4, the agenda for the initial hearing. Exhibit number 5, the proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties. Exhibit 6 are the rules of procedure, which we've just discussed. And those are the 6 exhibits. Can I get a motion to admit exhibits 1 through 6 into evidence as the Electoral Board exhibits?
Make a motion.
We got a motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Steele. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Steele. Aye by me, Mayor Vargas.
Let the record show that exhibits 1 through 6 Electoral Board Exhibits 1 through 6 are admitted into evidence as part of the record in this proceeding. Again, with respect to this matter, it does not appear that a record examination is required and that the issues are purely legal in nature. There was a discussion with Mr. Ladizinski and Mr. Erdman and an agreement reached concerning a briefing schedule. Mr. Ladizinski has agreed to file a motion to strike and dismiss on or before January 12th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. Mr. Erdman will file a response to that motion on or before January 14th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. And a reply will be filed by Mr. Ladizinski on or before January 15th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. The matter will then be heard for argument before this board on January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m. Is that an accurate statement of the briefing schedule, Mr. Erdman?
Yes, it is.
Can I ask the board if they will do a motion to adopt that briefing schedule and return for argument as stated?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
Can we get a motion then to recess this board? Is there any other business before this board on this matter?
No.
Can we get a motion then to recess this board until January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m.?
Get a motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson, aye.
Aye.
Second by Alderman Stevo, and aye by Mayor Vargas.
This matter is recessed until January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m.
Thank you. Let's go.
Okay.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. I need a motion to adopt and incorporate statement and findings of in-person meeting unfeasibility due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Council?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Alderman Dexter Johnson.
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Alan Stevo. Roll call.
Aye.
By Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alan Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Kerry Horvath. I am the attorney for the Municipal Officers Electoral Board for the City of Blue Island. This is in the matter of the objections of Felix Oliva, petitioner objector, versus Louis Esparza Jr., respondent candidate, case number 2020 BI-MOEB-06.
I am Domingo F. Vargas, the chairman of the Electoral Board. Also serving on the Electoral Board is the Senior Alderman Dexter Johnson and Second Senior Alderman Alan Stevo. We'll need a roll call.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Here.
Here.
Alderman Alan Stevo, and myself, Mayor Domingo Vargas. We have a quorum has been established.
At this point, prior to asking for a motion, you previously signed a copy of the rules of procedure. These are the rules of procedure to be utilized in these particular proceedings before the Municipal Officers Electoral Board of the City of Blue Island, and they've been approved for usage by the State Board of Elections and the County Board of Elections. Can I get a motion to adopt the rules of procedure as presented?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call.
Here. Aye. I'm sorry.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
The records show that the rules of procedure as presented have been adopted. Copies were previously circulated to all members of this board as well as to the attorneys for the parties.
I direct the Electoral Board attorney to conduct the proceedings through the remainder of the agenda. And we need a motion to adopt the rules of procedures as presented. Need a motion to direct the Electoral Board attorney to conduct the proceedings through the remainder of the agenda. Motion.
I'll make a motion.
By Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
By Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
Thank you very much. And this is Electoral Board case number 2020 BI-MOEB-06. Excuse me, Felix Oliva, petitioner objector versus Louis Esparza Jr., respondent candidate, prior to the proceeding. At the beginning, we had an appearance filed by Stephen Ladizinski on behalf of the candidate, and an appearance filed by Scott Erdman on behalf of the objector. Parties have already received the rules of procedure. Mr. Erdman, do you have a motion to make at this point in time?
Yes, at this point, the objectors would like to, for the record, object to the constitution of the board, and note that we have filed a complaint with the Cook County Clerk on that matter, and we have presented a copy to the board.
At this point, I'd like to proceed with the introduction into evidence of the Electoral Board exhibits. The exhibits are as follows. Exhibit 1 is the objector's petition. Exhibit 2 are the candidate's nomination papers. Exhibit 3 is the call of the Electoral Board. Exhibit 4 is the agenda for the initial hearing. Exhibit 5 are the proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties. And Exhibit 6 is the rules of procedure, or are the rules of procedure. Can I get a motion to admit Exhibits 1 through 6 into evidence as the Electoral Board exhibits?
Got a motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
Let the record show that the board's exhibits have been admitted into evidence. It does not appear from the objection that any type of record examination is going to be necessary in this case. However, there is a legal issue, or maybe legal issues, to be addressed prior to the initiation of this proceeding. Mr. Ladizinski, on behalf of the candidate, and Mr. Erdman, on behalf of the objectors, conducted a telephone conversation in which I was involved, and the board was allowed to be privy to the conversation, and a briefing schedule on the legal issues was established. Is that correct, Mr. Erdman?
It is correct, and to extend my previous comments, that we are willing to move forward with a briefing schedule without waiving our objection to the Constitution of the board.
Thank you. So at this point in time, the briefing schedule, as discussed, is that the brief in motion by Mr. Ladizinski on behalf of the candidate will be filed on or before January 12th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. The response on behalf of the objectors will be filed on or before January 14th, 11:59 p.m. And the reply, if any, by Mr. Ladizinski will be filed on or before January 15th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. And this matter will be heard for argument, or the motion will be heard for argument on January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m. Is that a correct statement of the briefing schedule?
Yes, sir.
Members of the board, would you adopt that, make a motion to adopt that, approve that briefing schedule, please?
Yes.
Motion by Alderman Johnson, second.
Aye.
By Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
Let the record show that the briefing schedule as stated and the return for argument on January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m. has been approved by the board. Is there any other business to be conducted by the board at this point in time? Can we get a motion then to recess this board until January 19th, 2021?
Make a motion.
Motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo, Alderman. And aye by Mayor Vargas.
This matter is then recessed until January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m.
When I call this meeting to order, we move to adopt and incorporate statement of findings in the in-person meeting of feasibility due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Need a motion by Alderman Dexter Johnson. Do I have a second? By Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. And aye by Mayor Vargas.
Thank you very much. Let the record show this is the matter of the objections of Thomas Arico, petitioner objector, versus Rich Webster, respondent candidate, case number 2020 BIMOEB-07, before the Municipal Officers Electoral Board for the City of Blue Island. My name is Kerry Horvath. I am the attorney for the board.
And I am Domingo F. Vargas, the chairman of the Electoral Board. Also serving as the Electoral Board is the Senior Alderman Dexter Johnson and Second Senior Alderman Alan Stevo. Need a roll call.
Here.
Alderman Johnson.
Here.
Alderman Stevo, and I, Mayor Vargas. I have a quorum has been established.
Briefly, the members of the board have signed a copy of the rules of procedure. These rules were circulated prior to today to the attorney for the candidate and the attorney for the objector. They were also circulated to the board. These rules will be in effect with respect to the proceedings before the Municipal Officers Electoral Board for the City of Blue Island, and they have been approved for use by the Illinois Board of Elections and the County Board of Elections. Can we get a motion to adopt the rules of procedure as presented?
Got a motion?
Make a motion.
Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
Let the record show that the rules of procedure have been adopted by this particular board in this proceeding.
Now I need a motion to direct the Electoral Board attorney to conduct proceedings to the remainder of the agenda. Do you have a motion?
I'll make a
By
motion.
Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
This is the matter of the objections of Thomas Arico, petitioner objector, versus Rich Webster, respondent candidate, 2020 BIMOEB-07. Stephen Ladizinski is representing the candidate. Mr. Ladizinski was unable to appear today because of a conflict. There was a telephone conversation initiated by Mr. Ladizinski to Mr. Erdman, the attorney for the objectors. I participated in the conversation. The board was allowed to overhear the conversation. Mr. Ladizinski indicated the conflict, and there was a discussion of a briefing schedule in this particular matter, which we will pursue further in the proceeding. Would you introduce yourself, Mr. Erdman?
Scott B. Erdman, E-R-D-M-A-N, on behalf of the objectors.
And did I correctly state that we did have a conversation with Mr. Ladizinski prior to the proceedings today?
Yes.
I believe you have a motion at this point in time.
Yes, the objectors would like to lodge their objection to the constitution of the board and note that a complaint has been filed with the clerk of the circuit court, and a copy has been presented to the board's attorney. Notwithstanding or waiving that objection, we are willing to proceed with the setting of the briefing schedule.
Thank you very much. First order then in this particular matter is the consideration of the admission of the Electoral Board exhibits into evidence. These exhibits are the objector's petition, the candidate's nomination papers, the call of the Electoral Board, the agenda for the initial hearing, the proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties, and the rules of procedure, all of which have been previously provided to the members of the board and to the parties, and which are in the packets as well, presented to the members of the board today. Can we get a motion at this point in time to admit into evidence exhibits 1 through 6 as the Electoral Board exhibits?
Make a motion.
By Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
And with respect to this particular matter, again, it does not appear that any type of record examination will be necessary. Is that correct?
Yes.
However, there is a legal issue to be presented, and with respect to that legal issue, Mr. Ladizinski and Mr. Erdman, in conjunction with myself, discussed a briefing schedule. Mr. Ladizinski will present a motion to strike and dismiss the objection on or before January 12th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. Mr. Erdman will submit a response to the motion and brief that Mr. Ladizinski files, and he will do that on or before January 14th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. And Mr. Ladizinski will file a reply on or before January 15th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. And the matter will be heard for argument by this board on January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m. Does that accurately state the briefing schedule, Mr. Erdman?
It does.
Members of the board, would you approve that, make a motion to approve that briefing schedule, please?
Motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Burgess.
Let the record show that the briefing schedule has been approved by the board. Is there any other business to be conducted by the board with respect to this matter at this time?
Anything? None.
We have a motion to recess the board in this matter until January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m.
A motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
This matter is recessed until January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m.
She agrees.
Okay. Call to order, move to adopt and incorporate statement and findings of in-person meeting unfeasibility due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Need a motion?
I'll make a
By
motion.
Alderman Johnson, second. By Alderman Stevo. Roll call.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas. I am Domingo F. Vargas, the chairman of the Electoral Board. Also serving on the Electoral Board is Senior Alderman Dexter Johnson and second Senior Alderman Alan Stevo. We need a roll call.
Here.
Alderman Johnson here.
Here.
Alderman Stevo present and Mayor Vargas present also. Quorum's been established.
Briefly, members of the board, we've circulated to you prior to today and then again today the rules of procedure. These have also been provided to the attorneys for the parties prior to the proceedings today. These rules of procedure will govern the proceedings before you throughout the course of the proceedings. They have been approved by the Illinois Board of Elections and the County Board of Elections. Can we have a motion to adopt the rules of procedure as presented?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas. And now need a motion to direct the Electoral Board attorney to conduct proceedings through the remainder of the agenda. Need a motion?
Make a
By
motion.
Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
Let the record show the rules of procedure have been adopted by the board and have been directed as the attorney for the board to conduct the remainder of these proceedings. This is Electoral Board case number 2020 BIMOED-08 in the matter of the objections of Hilda Rodriguez, petitioner objector, versus Bill Farrenwald, respondent candidate. Prior to proceeding of being initiated, Stephen Ladizinski filed an appearance on behalf of the candidate. Mr. Scott Erdman filed an appearance on behalf of the objector. The rules of procedure, as I indicated, were circulated. Mr. Erdman, do you have a motion that you'd like to make at this time before we proceed?
Yes, at this time, the objector would like to object to the constitution of the board and note that a complaint has been filed with the clerk of the circuit court, a copy of which has been presented to the board's attorney. With that said, and without waiving this objection, we are willing to move forward with the setting of a briefing schedule.
Thank you. First order of business, members of the board, is a consideration of the introduction and evidence of Electoral Board exhibits. Exhibit 1 is the objector's petition. Exhibit 2 are the candidates' nominating papers. Exhibit 3 is the call of the Electoral Board. Exhibit 4 is the agenda for the initial hearing today. Exhibit 5 are the proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties. And Exhibit 6 are the rules of procedure. Can I get a motion from the board to approve as evidence Exhibits 1 through 6 as the Electoral Board exhibits?
Motion.
Motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
Let the record show that Exhibits 1 Electoral Board Exhibits 1 through 6 are admitted into evidence in this proceeding. Again, as with a number of the petitions or objections filed earlier today, there does not appear to be a need for a record examination. However, there are legal issues. A briefing schedule was discussed by Mr. Erdman and Mr. Ladizinski, the attorneys for the parties, with respect to the a motion to strike and dismiss that the attorney for the candidate intends to file. The briefing schedule was discussed in a phone conversation that occurred prior to the beginning of the proceedings today. Mr. Ladizinski indicated he would be filing a motion to strike and dismiss and the brief in support of it on or before January 12th of 2021 at 11:59 p.m. Mr. Erdman would be filing a response to that brief on or before January 14th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. And Mr. Ladizinski would file a reply if needed on or before January 15th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. And the matter would then be heard for argument before this board on January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m. Did I correctly state that briefing schedule, Mr. Erdman?
Yes, sir.
Members of the board, can we get a motion to approve that briefing schedule?
Motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
Record show that the briefing schedule as stated and the return for argument on January 19, 2021 at 1 p.m. has been approved by the board. Is there any other business to be conducted by the board at this time with respect to this matter?
And at this time.
Can I get a motion to recess this matter until January 19, 2021 at 1 p.m.?
Got a motion by Alderman Johnson.
Second.
Second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
This matter is recessed until January 19, 2021 at 1 p.m.
Call this meeting in order. Move to adopt and incorporate a statement of findings of in-person meeting unfeasibility due to the COVID pandemic. I'll need a motion. By Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson, aye.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas. I am Domingo F. Vargas, the chairman of the Electoral Board. Also serving on the Electoral Board is Senior Alderman Dexter Johnson and second Senior Alderman Alan Stevo. Roll call.
Here.
Here, Alderman Johnson.
Here.
Here, Alderman Stevo. Here, Mayor Vargas. Quorum has been established.
Briefly, members of the board, you've executed a copy of the rules of procedure. These rules of procedure will govern the proceedings before this municipal officers election board. The rules of procedure have been approved by the State Board of Elections and the County Board of Elections. Copies were circulated to the attorneys for the candidate, or the attorney for the candidate, and the attorney for the objectors prior to the proceedings. Can I get a motion to adopt the rules of procedure as presented?
Motion by Alderman Johnson.
Second.
Second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
Let the record show that the rules of procedure have been adopted by the Municipal Officers Election Board.
Need a motion to direct the Electoral Board attorney to conduct proceedings through the remainder of the agenda. I need a motion by Alderman Johnson. Second.
Second.
By Alderman Stevo. Roll call.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
And members of the board, let the record show this is the proceeding in the matter of the objections of Hilda Arellano, petitioner objector, versus Gabriel McGee, respondent candidate. Case number 2020 BIMOEB-09, pending before the Municipal Officers Electoral Board for the City of Blue Island. prior to my stating the caption on this matter, the board did in fact adopt the rules of procedure. There was a roll call conducted, and there was an introduction of the members of the board. At this point in time, I would indicate that the objector is represented by Mr. Scott Erdman, who has filed an appearance. The candidate, Gabriel McGee, is represented by Stephen Ladazinski, who has also filed an appearance. Mr. Ladazinski is unable to attend today, and in a telephone conference prior to the initiation of these proceedings, he and Mr. Erdman and myself discussed Mr. Ladazinski's inability to attend due to a conflict that he had. There was also a discussion of a briefing schedule, which we will entertain in more detail shortly. And at this point in time, Mr. Erdman, would you introduce yourself, and then I believe you have a motion to make.
Scott B. Erdman, on behalf of the objector. It's Erdman. At this point, the objector notes their objection to the constitution of the board, and notes that a complaint has been filed with the clerk of the circuit court, and a copy has been presented to the board. Notwithstanding that and not waiving our objection, we are willing to move forward and set a briefing schedule.
Thank you. At this point, I would ask the board to entertain the acceptance of the board's exhibits into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the objector's petition. Exhibit 2 are the candidate's nomination papers. Exhibit 3 is the call of the Electoral Board. Exhibit 4 is the agenda for the initial hearing. Exhibit 5 are the proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties. Exhibit 6 are the rules of procedure. Can we have a motion to accept into evidence Electoral Board exhibits 1 through 6?
Motion. Motion by Alderman Johnson, second.
Second.
By Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alan Stevo, Alderman, and aye by Mayor Vargas.
Let the record show that the Electoral Board exhibits 1 through 6 inclusive have been admitted into evidence. At this point, it appears there is no need for a records examination. However, there are legal issues to be discussed or to be briefed. Prior to the proceeding today, the parties, through their attorneys and myself, with the board listening to the phone conversation, discussed a briefing schedule on the legal issues to be presented. Mr. Ladazinski will file a motion to strike and dismiss and brief in support of that motion on or before Tuesday, January 12th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. Mr. Erdman, on behalf of the objector, will file a response to that motion and brief on or before January 14th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. And Mr. Ladazinski will file a reply if required on or before January 15th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. And the matter will be continued for argument before this board on January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m. Does that correctly state the briefing schedule?
Yes, sir.
Members of the board, would you make a motion to approve that briefing schedule?
Motion.
Motion by Alderman Johnson, second.
Second.
By Alderman Alan Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Alan Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
Let the record show the board has approved the briefing schedule and return for argument on January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m. And is there any other business before this board at this time?
At this time.
We get a motion to recess the board until January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m. To hear arguments on the motion to strike and dismiss and possibly a decision at that point.
Motion.
Motion by Alderman Johnson, second.
Second.
By Alderman Alan Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Alan Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas. Yep. Call this meeting call to order. Move to adopt and incorporate statement of findings of in-person meeting unfeasibility due to COVID-19 pandemic. I need a motion. And a second. Motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
Just 1 minute, please.
I am Domingo F. Vargas, the chairman of the Electoral Board. Also serving on the Electoral Board is Senior Alderman Dexter Johnson and second Senior Alderman Alan Stevo. Roll call. Alderman?
Aye.
Alderman Johnson,
Here.
present.
Here.
Alderman Alan Stevo, present. Myself, Mayor Vargas, present. Quorum has been established.
Again, before we initiate the proceedings, circulated to you a copy of the rules of procedure that you have all signed. These rules of procedure will govern the proceedings before the Municipal Officers Electoral Board for the City of Blue Island. Copies of these rules of procedure were previously submitted to the attorney for the candidate, Stephen Ledezinski, and the attorney for the objector, Scott Erdman. At this point in time, I would ask for a motion to adopt the rules of procedure as presented.
Motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Alan Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas. And now,
Let the record show that the rules of procedure as previously presented to the parties and to the members of the board, signed by the members of the board, have been adopted as the rules of procedure before the Municipal Officers Electoral Board of the City of Blue Island.
make a motion to direct the Electoral Board attorney to conduct proceedings through the remainder of the agenda. I need a motion.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson, second.
Aye.
Alderman Alan Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Alan Stevo, and aye by Mayor Vargas.
Thank you very much. This is the matter of the objections of Mariela Esparza Castillo, petitioner objector, versus Lauren Trinidad, respondent candidate. Case number 2020 BIMOEB-10. My name is Kerry Horvath. I am the attorney for the Municipal Officers Electoral Board. The board has adopted the rules of procedure. There is a quorum, and at this point in time, I will indicate for the record that Stephen Ledezinski has filed an appearance as the attorney for Lauren Trinidad. Scott Erdman has filed an appearance as the attorney for Mariela Esparza Castillo. Mr. Ledezinski indicated in a telephone conversation prior to these proceedings today that was conducted with Mr. Erdman and myself, the members of the board listening, that he was unable to attend due to a conflict that he had. However, there was a discussion of a briefing schedule to be conducted with respect to legal issues in this matter, which we will discuss just briefly later in this proceeding. At this point, did I correctly state that, Mr. Erdman?
Yes, sir.
At this point in time, do you have a motion that you would like to make?
Yes, at this point, the objector would like to object to the constitution of the board and note that we have filed a complaint with the clerk of the circuit court, and we presented a copy of that complaint to counsel for the board. Without waiving that objection, we are willing to move forward and set a briefing schedule.
Thank you very much. At this point, I'd like the board to consider the introduction and admission into evidence of the Electoral Board exhibits. Those exhibits are Exhibit 1, Objector's Petition. Exhibit 2, Candidates' Nomination Papers. Exhibit 3, the Call of the Electoral Board. Exhibit 4, the agenda for the hearing today, this initial hearing. Exhibit 5, the proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties. And Exhibit 6, the rules of procedure that you previously adopted. And we have a motion to accept the Electoral Board's Exhibits 1 through 6 into evidence.
Motion.
Motion by Alderman Johnson, second.
Second.
By Alderman Alan Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
Let the record show that the Electoral Board Exhibits 1 through 6 inclusive have been offered and admitted into evidence. With respect to this matter, does not appear to be a need for a records examination. However, there is a legal issue, or there are legal issues to be addressed. Prior to the proceeding, the parties, through their attorneys, discussed a briefing schedule. I will state it as follows. Mr. Ladizinski, on behalf of the candidate, will file a motion to strike and dismiss and brief on or before January 12, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. Mr. Erdman will file a response to that brief on or before January 14th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. Mr. Ladizinski will file a reply, if he cares to, on or before January 15th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. And the matter will be heard for argument on January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m. Did I correctly state that briefing schedule, Mr. Erdman?
Yes, sir.
Need a motion by the board to approve that briefing schedule.
Make a motion.
Motion by Alderman Johnson, second. Second. Alderman Alan Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Alan Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
The record show that the briefing schedule as stated and the return for argument on January 19, 2021 at 1 p.m. has been approved by the board. Are there any other matters for consideration by the Electoral Board this morning?
Nothing.
Do we have a motion to recess the board until January 19, 2021 at 1 p.m.?
The motion by
Motion.
Alderman Johnson. Second by Alderman Alan Stevo. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye by Alderman Stevo. Aye by Mayor Vargas.
And I'll let the members of the board know that with respect to all matters conducted this morning, 2020 BIMOEB-1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The briefs that the parties will file will be submitted to me by email. I will circulate them to the board for your review and reading prior to the hearing date, so you have an opportunity to look at them. If anything occurs with respect to the litigation that has been filed in the Circuit Court of Cook County, I will notify the board because there may be some delay in this proceeding. I have indicated previously in our discussions that were conducted with Mr. Erdman that if he wants to submit a brief on the legal issue that appears to be existing with respect to most of the objections, one brief addressing all of them, just so that we don't have a stack of papers a mile high, he can do so. Of course, he will preserve the record in the manner that is appropriate in each one of these proceedings. Is that okay with you, sir?
Correct.
Members of the board, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let me recessed until January 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You can take your materials with you if you'd like to, or you can back in as long as you don't carry it in the car.
Okay.